I much rather prefer doing positive Xbox stories and positive gaming stories in general. It's just a sad fact of the matter is whenever Microsoft starts doing something good, it's going to be followed by something bad, and that's more of the case here, unfortunately. So I know some people are going to hate that I'm doing this video and being as critical as I am, but I just have to be. It doesn't make sense to sugarcoat it and to, make it seem like things are better than they actually are, because, things right now are actually very rough for Xbox. And I don't understand it, because you have them saying one thing, right? But clearly things aren't as good as what they're trying to make you believe, because you have all this contradicting evidence, right? This crazy evidence on the other hand. So it should be an interesting video. What's up? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Please like, share, subscribe. I would certainly appreciate it. It means a lot to me personally. If you guys go ahead and do that. I look for simple likes. That's basically, if you're looking for a way to help out the channel, that's probably the best way that you can go about it in terms of doing so. And, keep in mind that I do daily gaming content. So if you guys are looking for more of that stuff, then look no further than right now. So, yeah. Anyway, I try to be fun yet informative as I can possibly be. But there's a couple of really bad things going on with Xbox. It looks like Xbox itself is reportedly planning another round of major layoffs next week. This isn't the worst of it, though. Trust me, it gets worse. According to a report which cites sources familiar with sources speaking anonymously, the company is set to conduct a round of layoffs next week as part of a company-wide reorganization. Bloomberg had previously reported that Microsoft plans to cut thousands of jobs next week, mostly consisting of salespeople, but it now appears its gaming division will also be affected by layoffs. As the report notes, this will be the fourth major round of layoffs at Xbox in the past 18 months. In January of 23, the company confirmed plans to lay off 10,000. While these layoffs covered Microsoft as a whole, it was then reported that Bethesda Game Studios had been affected by them, and 343 Industries, the studio behind 2021's Halo Infinite, had suffered a significant number of layoffs across the company, which were heaviest towards individuals working on the single-player side of the studio. And then in 2024, another 1,900 staff were laid off at Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox. According to Phil Spencer, the decision had to be made after Microsoft and Activision Blizzard's leadership team set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned with the best opportunities for growth. Again, Phil Spencer gets a big bonus, though, for this stuff, so keep that in mind. This was followed with another round of cuts in September of 24, that another 650 jobs were being cut from Microsoft's gaming division, quote unquote, as part of our aligning our post-acquisition team structure and managing our business. We have made the decision to eliminate approximately 650 roles across Microsoft Gaming, mostly corporate and supporting functions, to organize our business for long-term success, according to Phil Spencer. Then in January 2025, it was reported that Microsoft had made an unspecified number of layoffs across several divisions, including employees at Xbox's maker security sales and gaming business. Now, thousands and thousands of people are getting laid off over at Xbox, despite the fact that they keep trying to tell us that, there is no issue and Xbox is having their best time ever, and, all this kind of stuff. So we keep seeing this happen. And at the same point in time, it's just unfathomable that that's not even the worst part of it. So you guys want to hear the worst part of it. So Microsoft keeps telling us everything's great. Your consoles are fine. We're going to make more. Your games are safe. According to this, Microsoft's planning to restructure Xbox distribution in Central Europe. According to the report, Microsoft reportedly is going to make their layoffs throughout the Xbox division at some point, and in follow-up, the report noted how some Xbox operations will be ceasing to exist in Europe as well. Coming from The Verge, which says that according to their sources, Microsoft is restructuring Xbox distribution across Central Europe. Here's the quote. Microsoft is planning to restructure parts of its Xbox business as it looks ahead to its next generation of consoles. One source tells me Microsoft is restructuring Xbox distribution across Central Europe, resulting in some Xbox operations ceasing to exist in some regions. So, Central Europe includes countries such as Switzerland, Czech Republic, Germany, Poland, Croatia, and others. And, it's hard to say what some operations refers to. Again, it could be something big, it could be something smaller. But the main thing that I would kind of point out is we've been hearing more and more about how Microsoft is, keeping not stocking Xboxes. Like, there's been all kinds of rumors that they have actually stopped production of the Xbox Series X, like altogether, like the original one, that they're not making that anymore. We know they're not shipping or making physical Xbox games anymore, while they are having them created for, the PlayStation. So, again, if they're planning on going into next generation, my main point of this would be, why bother even making another console at that point, right? Like, and I know people are going to jump in and go, well, aren't they going to make some kind of hybrid thing? I've never really believed into like the whole hybrid situation or whatever. I never thought that was like a legit thing. To be completely honest with you guys, because I just don't think, like, a PC can't play console games and a console can't play PC games. You have to have stuff that's specifically made for those platforms. And the big problem with that is that, after all this time, we have this really weird situation where this kind of stuff is happening at like the worst possible time, because Microsoft is telling us one thing, but then they're, behind the scenes, they're doing this other stuff, and it doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense in this instance. And I'll tell you why. The main reason is, how can you feel safe with a company that supposedly is making more profit than they ever have, but they're firing thousands of people, and meanwhile, Phil Spencer and company are getting like these incredible bonuses, millions of dollars. It's kind of crazy. Even if they do, let's just say they do put out a console, I've never seen less advertising for an Xbox console than I have this generation. I have never seen, like why would developers support a console from Microsoft if the only places they're selling them is the US and the UK, right? And then you probably won't be able to buy them in stores. That's like the other unfortunate situation here, right? So, to me anyway, it does not make any sense whatsoever for this to be the situation. And, at the same point in time, it's like, people are really trying to trust Microsoft with anything that they say after, like, again, why would anybody trust Microsoft at this point? It really doesn't make sense. I honestly have no idea about what's going on at this particular point. Microsoft continues to, fire people. They continue to say they're going to do something, but then, obviously what we're seeing is they're not really following through with this stuff. So that's kind of the unfortunate situation here, and that, at the end of the day, honestly, it's upsetting because, I'm a fan of Xbox. I want to see Xbox, do well. I want to see them continue to be active in the gaming sphere and the console sphere. I want to see them do, a ton of things. It's just, I don't understand why this is the case right now. I don't understand why, the company, they're just so lackadaisical with this stuff, right? It's like, it doesn't even seem like the same company that was doing amazing things in the past. It was like they were so fan favorites and all this kind of stuff. And, at the same point in time, now we're seeing this stuff happen, and it just really is an unfortunate situation because, I want to see Xbox do well, and it just does not look like Xbox is going to continue to be around. Like, how could you trust that Xbox is going to be around after stuff like this, or what would be the point of Xbox if they don't have, a console that is going to be widely available to people? Like, why would developers bother to optimize properly? Why would developers do any of that kind of stuff? And if your response to me is, well, it's going to be a PC with an Xbox logo, that's not what I want as a console owner, right? PCs are weird for a lot of ways, and I avoid them for a lot of reasons, but games are generally piss poor optimized on PC. They expect the gamers to adjust this and that and the other thing, and it's because they're hitting so many targets they can't properly optimize. Hence why I like console gaming. One of the reasons is the games are optimized, and and even if they aren't great at launch, they'll update it, and it'll be fine. With PC, it's like you have all these really bad things that can happen, and I'm just not a fan of it. But let me know what you guys think. It doesn't sound good. Rack 'em up. Crep Gamer out.